it's Laura here, and I'm an artist who likes to do coloring, painting, and drawing tutorials, so if you like that kind of stuff, then go ahead and hit that little subscribe button down below, hit that little bell notification button if you want to get all my videos. Without any further ado, let's jump right in! Alright, so this is where we left off, and we were working with pencils last time, so let's jump in using Prismacolor 943. And yeah, let's get to it. So I'm just gonna layer and layer and layer. At this point now, we've got a good foundation, but I'm going to increase the depth of the drawing considerably over the course of this series. So unfortunately, we have several hours left of drawing to do. But I hope that you stick with me as we go through this process. Please understand that I'm not speeding up, I'm not rushing just for the sake of this video. This is me unfettered. I'm just doing what I always do. But I do want to show you my process truthfully. I take my time. I don't rush things. I let the paper flow and the pencils flow. I don't really like to, especially in my coloring, I don't like to rush it because I find that sometimes when I rush a coloring piece, I end up making mistakes or going too far and then having to really compensate. So I just figure I should just take my time and enjoy it and not rush or worry about how long it takes. But that does mean that my work takes quite a while to do. But yeah, what's great about YouTube videos, you can speed it up. You can go and make everything 2 times faster. So if I'm going too slow for you, please, by all means, use those playback options and speed me up. So you can see I jump around a lot. At this point now, what I do is anywhere that stands out to me that needs a little bit more depth and color, I just go to that spot. So when I'm not working, I'm stepping back, or not stepping back literally, but I'm leaning back from the work and just taking a look at the overall work. And I like to build it up gradually but evenly, so that way there's no spot that's unfinished. I know a lot of artists work different ways. Some people work on one section at a time. Unfortunately, I've never been able to do that. I always have to bring it all up at once so that I can see all the values in context. I'm not saying that that's the best way or the only way. Like I've said before in the other videos in this series, there are so many ways to accomplish art. So, yeah, this is just the way that I do it. And I'm just sharing my process with you guys because everybody's been asking me, how do you color skin? How do you color skin? So, this is how I color skin. Yeah, so I also wanted to talk a little bit about comparing yourself to other people. I think I've discussed this on this channel once before, but unfortunately it seems to keep coming up. I always hear things like, I could never be as good, or my work isn't as good, or I need a lot more work to get as good, or a lot of these comparison statements really bother me, and I just wanted to discuss that a little bit while you guys watch me color. So, the reason why it bothers me so much, I think I'm actually going to switch colors here really quick, so let me let you know about that first. Yep, we're going to 1008. Alright. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding color that's in the hair into the skin. A lot of people call this reflected light or reflected color. Basically, I just find that it harmonizes the transition between the hair and the face. So wherever is nearby the hair, you'll find that I'm adding that color into the face. So anyway, what I was saying before about comparison. So many people have, I guess, this thing where they need to be the best. And the thing for me is, I'm never going to be the best artist out there. I'm not the worst, but I'm not the best. And for me, that's not really the point. What I want to do is just see that I am progressing as an individual. So I compare my current work to my older work. And what this does is it shows me my progression, it shows me how much I've improved, and it allows me to take a wider view of my overall journey as an artist. So I can see where I still need to work on things, and I can see where I've definitely gotten better. And this kind of process is really important because it also allows me to evaluate what I still need to work on. Every artist, no matter how good or bad they are, always needs to work on something. There's always a way that you can improve. I think that the amazing thing about art, and I classify coloring as art, the amazing thing about art is that there's never a point at which you stop. You just keep moving forward and evolving and getting better and better. And the only way that you stop is by stopping, your art. But if you keep working at it, then you will continue to improve all the time. So comparing yourself to other people is really something that will just cause you pain and heartache because there's always going to be someone better and there's always going to be someone worse. And putting people down that have less skills than you really serves no purpose and kind of makes you a bully. And at the same time, worshiping people who have more skill than you and wishing that you had that skill or being resentful or jealous will just cause you heartache. So it's really not a useful way to spend your time looking at other people's work. I'm going to switch colors again. You can see I'm working on the hair now, so we're going to use 1024. And when I look at other people's work, if I admire it, then I simply absorb and love what they've done. I don't feel the need to say, oh, I wish I were that good. Instead, what I do is I just say, wow, that's incredible. What an experience. And what this does is it really allows me to enjoy it without any negative feeling. I go to museums all the time, art museums and galleries, and there's some amazing artists out there. And when I look at their work, I don't feel any kind of intimidation, but rather I just feel inspired to go home and create my own artwork. And yeah, it might not be as good as theirs, but that's not the point for me. The point is to enjoy myself, to express myself, and to continue to improve and press on. And my feeling is as long as I continue to press on and learn new things every day, then there's never going to be a point at which my current work looks worse than my older work. Now, granted, that doesn't mean that every piece has to be better than the last. You have to leave a lot of room in your artwork for making bad art. Every good artist makes bad art, and that's okay too. I mean, that's part of the journey and the experimenting process. There's a lot of times I've made mistakes and I've really messed something up and I feel so bad about it, but then later on, when I'm doing a new piece, I learn from it. I find that I draw on that experience and I go, oh, don't do that. I remember what happened last time I tried that, or hey, let's try it again and see if I can do it better. Depending on what it is or what kind of mistake or damage I've done to the old one. So yeah, I just want to really address this problem because I find a lot of colorists, I guess, feel the need to be amazing right away. And unfortunately, that's not how art works. You only get amazing by doing it, and you have to do it all the time. And then over time, you'll find what works for you personally because everybody is different. So like, even though I'm sharing my process and exactly how I do things in real time, that doesn't mean that you're going to do it exactly the same way. You're going to take what you want from it and do your own way, find your own methods. And that's totally normal. That's great. I mean, every artist is an individual, and every art is like, your art is a reflection of your own like personality and your soul. So you can't copy somebody else's work and expect it to work for you, if that makes sense. But at the same time, copying as an exercise is legitimate. I'm going to switch color again. It's 1007. If you're like copying my work in order to learn how I do it so that way you can get better, that's educational and it's totally awesome. But, it's not going to fulfill your soul the same way it would as if you were to create your own work from scratch, if that makes sense. And the thing is like, there's all sorts of different ways that you can create your work. And everything is legitimate as long as, like, if you're copying someone's art, you make sure to give credit. That's just like a common practice. I've done studies of master paintings in art school. I took some art classes. I didn't actually graduate art school. I went and switched my major. But while I was taking classes, they had us do master copies of famous art pieces. And that was so that we could understand how the master artist created their brushwork, their techniques and their working methods, and then we can take what we wanted from that and integrate it into our own artwork. And that's the whole point of that exercise. But I would never show those masterworks online or say that I created them because they're not my original idea, if that makes sense. So in the same way, I mean, if I did show them, like there's this drawing exercise going around right now that's draw this in your style, where you take somebody else's art and you draw it in your own way. And I did one of those recently on my Instagram, actually. And I made sure to credit the original artist because that's really important. They came up with the idea for the concept originally, and I wanted to make sure to credit that artist. So that's okay if you do it that way. You're free to share as long as you're respectful of the original artist. So, like, yeah, anyway, what I was saying before about comparing yourself, though, I just feel like just enjoy the process, because in the end, if you're really having fun and not stressing so much about having a perfect outcome, then what you're going to end up doing is creating a whole lot more artwork because you're enjoying doing it so much. So that's my little spiel. I'm sorry I went so long about it. I'm very, very passionate about this subject because I see it almost every day. People either telling me or telling other artists, oh, I wish I had your talent or your skill, and really the wishing part, it's like kind of pointless. Like, the only way that you're going to get better is by doing it yourself. So, don't wish, just draw and have fun and save yourself the stress and the hassle of feeling jealous or upset about not having the same exact techniques as someone else, because you'll develop your own style and your own skills and over time you'll find that what you've learned over the course of your journey will be completely unique to you, and you'll find your style that way. And it's pretty amazing when that happens, because then you know that it's really coming from your soul, and that's just a beautiful thing. Art is so unique that way. So yeah. Anyway, you saw I was doing your eyes there for a little while. I use the same color for her eyes as I used for the shadows in her hair, just to sort of tie the two together. I wanted her hair to kind of feel like clouds and her eyes to feel more like deep, like a purpley blue. But to tie them together and to make them work, I've used that dark, I think it's Imperial Violet, for both. So, yeah, well, I've done ranting about that issue that I've been seeing so much. So yeah, I'll just tell you, I'm really excited to see you guys watching these videos. I'm really surprised, actually. So many people have stuck with this series and are watching it. But I'm going to keep uploading them until it's done. I appreciate your patience. I know I have had some gaps in time between a couple of them, but hopefully we can get them out pretty quick. I have the rest of them planned out. I believe there's 9. Yep, there's 9 full real-time videos planned. So this is the 4th one, so we have 5 more after this. And they're all already recorded. I just have to put them together and put the color names on the videos and give my voiceover to it, and then render it out and put it on YouTube. So each video does take quite a bit to create, but I'm really happy to do it, especially seeing that you guys are enjoying them. So in the comments below, if you don't mind putting tips and ideas for what you want to see next. I have a couple of other videos planned, but if there's something that you really want to see, I'm going to be working a whole lot in my book, because I've been dying to color this book since I drew it. A lot of the time when I was drawing the book, I was on a pretty tight deadline to get it finished. So I couldn't actually color the pages that I was drawing, but I really wanted to. So now that the book is done, I just feel like I'm just having so much fun working in it. So you guys will see a whole lot of my book for right now. But yeah, if there's a specific page that you want to see from my book, or like a specific technique, If you want to see a particular medium or, specific skin tone, let me know in the comments below. I would love to help you guys out. The next one I have planned is a lovely page. It's Prince Jomo and the Flutterfant. And this page is great. It has a man with a dark skin tone, so if you're looking for something like that, then that's coming up after this series. So you can see I'm adding this purple color in a lot of the shadows, even in her face. I did her eyebrows with this color too because I've been using it in the hair, and I like to tie the hair and the eyebrows together. So now I'm going to go in and do some bold dark shadow for the hair. And I'm sorry sometimes I block the camera with my hand. A lot of the time when I'm doing these coloring, I kind of zone out and I don't even notice what I'm doing with the... I don't pay attention to the camera. It's tough. I hope I'm getting better about them though. Yep. So today, it was kind of funny. It snowed really, really heavy. And I was looking out the window, like watching the snowfall. And I saw this really cute kid. He was like, I don't know, about like 7 or 8 years old. And he was all bundled up, so like really fluffy jacket and so many layers. You could tell like he was having trouble walking. And there's this doggy that lives across the street, and so he stopped to try and pet the doggy, and he fell over, and it was so funny. He was so cute. He was like, he kind of reminded me of that movie with the kid who has like the puffy jacket. It was so sweet, and I was watching and I almost felt like going outside and helping the poor guy up, but he got up on his own. He was fine, so it was probably good I didn't go out there and embarrass him. It was so cute, though. I was like, aw. And the doggy was having a grand old time. Alright, we're switching colors to 906. This is a warmer blue, but it's still really dark. So you can see the hair transitions color from a purpley blue to like a warmer, more traditional blue. So here I'm using, in the warmer areas of the blue hair, I'm using this warmer dark color. Yep. So, another thing I do want to say is a lot of people like limit themselves, like self-limit. And I don't want you guys to think that you can't do something. It's just a matter of practice. So if you're intimidated or you're worried about something, then, try it out a couple of times before you actually go and do it for real. Like when I was going to do this page, I was kind of worried because I didn't really know what I was going to do. I knew I wanted to do this page, but I didn't know exactly what colors I wanted to make everything. And yet I didn't say I couldn't do it. I just sort of decided to wing it. But in the end, it turned out really great. So, but even if it hadn't, it would have been a really good experiment. can see, I'm just creating a lot of shadows for the hair. And I really, really love just being methodical and taking my time. And I'm sorry if that makes this kind of boring. If you guys want me to do a speed coloring challenge sometime, let me know.
So cute. How's it going?
Got my little kitty companion with me now. And Abby always has to be nearby. She's either close by, or sitting on my lap, or sleeping next to me. She's always very close. I love her so much. See, yeah, I can do like a page where I try and color it as fast as I can. That might be kind of fun. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see something like that. But yeah, this is just me, just doing my thing. And you can see I'm really kind of, I jump all over because I really don't have any plans. I could just color. Alright, I'm gonna switch colors now. And we have 1074. And I'm jumping into the background. Now, for the most part, I've been doing the hair, but now I feel like this area that I was just working in really needed a little more darker contrast. So I'm using this gray color to add more depth and dimension to the cloud right there. And I'm just sort of layering a couple of different layers of color. I'm just sort of putting a couple of different layers of color. Alright. This also isn't as blue now because I'm adding a gray tone to it. And it knocks out some of the blue, so it separates it from the hair a little bit. Makes the hair stand out. And now it looks like I'm just having a grand old time and just keep going. Oh no, I'm coloring off camera. I'm sorry. Hopefully I adjust soon. No, still coloring. Oh, there we go. Traveled back on camera. Oh my goodness. Alright, hey, I moved it up. Okay, more clouds. So you can see, I I do tend to just sort of work whatever catches me, whatever whim fancies me at that moment. Come on, camera, focus. Ugh, I'm sorry, guys. The camera is focused on my hand and not the page. Come on, focus. There we go. Hey! Right. Switching colors now. And we're going to 1079. And this is similar to another color we were using earlier, but it is kind of different. So I'm adding that into the hair. Now that there's a little bit more separation between the hair and the clouds right behind it, I have a little bit more context to work with. I'm going to create the shadows and dimension for the hair. And you can see for the most part I go in directional strokes. And this allows the hair to create a really soft, continuous look. I don't worry about actually creating individual hair strands, but instead treat them as big chunks. So you'll see I do all the shadows in one chunk, if you will, like this section here. And instead of carrying this strand all the way through, I'm leaving some of the paper white or the marker, and that creates the highlights. And since my light direction is coming from the top down, it's a pretty straightforward lighting scenario. So just always keeping that in mind as I place my shadows. And since I just love this color, I'm going to use it quite a bunch, I think. Alright. So yeah, tell me in the comments below what you struggle with most. Do you have trouble with skin tone or hair, or do you have trouble with backgrounds? What is it that you struggle with the most? I'm always looking to help you guys out directly, and knowing exactly where your pain points are really allows me to tailor the content just to you. Alright, moving on up. Now to tie the two hair color bits together, if you will, I'm carrying this color up into the purpley spot. And what it does here is, even though the shadows are different colors, the medium tone, the mid-tone, is this same color, and it brings a harmony to the hair. So it feels more like a transition and less like an abrupt change. And I'm so sorry, my hand is blocking the view. There we go. And here I'm working with a blunt pencil because I don't need it to be super precise yet. But later on when I go and do like final highlights and shadows, I'm probably going to, I can't remember, but I think I sharpen it. Alright, she's already looking better. Yep. We're almost halfway through now. So I pick up the same color.
Cute something.
I think I was petting the kitty. Little kitty break. And if you stick through to the end of this video, I'll show you a little short clip of Abby. Alright. So it's funny, when I was drawing this page, I really felt like I wanted her to be like a surreal portrait, but it ended up turning out more like a fantasy portrait. I may try this page again sometime because I don't know if I achieved exactly the look I was going for, but it was so much fun pushing myself outside of my comfort zone and trying a bunch of new things in this page, so I'm so happy that I tried it. Alright, more hair. I just love coloring hair. Love drawing it, love coloring it. I love giving wild hairdos. Oh, I think we have a kitty. Alright. The kitty's all settled. She's helping me out, picking my colors for me. I'm sorry for the interruptions. It's kind of hard to plan around the kitty cat sometimes, but I do my best. Now zoomed out, you can really see it coming together. It's funny, I actually put the camera mount higher up so Abby wouldn't rub against it. But it's a nice view to show you my progress so far. Now I'm going to rotate the page a little just to help me out with the directional strokes. I try not to rotate the page too much, but feel free though, if it helps you, please do. I'm just aware some people get a little disoriented when I do that on camera, so I'm trying not to for the video. But when I'm coloring all by myself, I rotate the page quite a lot, and I think that's pretty normal. Alright, so for the clouds, I did want to mention I definitely use circular motions. This gives a nice fluffy feeling. Alright, so something I thought I would share. I have a hidden talent. I'm pretty good at making bird noises with my mouth. So I'm going to do some bird noises for you. Here we go. Ready? Alright. So what's your hidden talent? What do you guys like to do that nobody knows about? Anyway, put that in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your talents too. I started doing sound effects with my mouth when I was going to college. It was just something that I took a Foley class and it was so much fun. So now it's just something I do for fun by myself. But I thought I would share it with you guys because I think it's silly. And I actually have a funny story about that. I used to work in an open office. I'm a graphic designer and a web designer, and I used to work at this office where everybody worked in the same room. And apparently I do that bird chirping noise when I'm really deep in thought, and I am usually when I'm coding. And so I was doing this bird chirp noise, and it was in the wintertime. And for the longest time, the guy who sat next to me thought that there was like a bird outside. And he's like, "Oh, I thought spring had come early." It was so funny. I really liked working at that place. The people there were just so nice. So yeah, it was really funny though. He's like, "Oh, that's you." I totally fooled him. It was so fun. But I didn't do it on purpose. It's just something I do, when I'm thinking really, really hard. But luckily with art I don't need to think, I just do it. But if you ever hear me bird chirp, you know I'm really deep in thought. Alright, so I'm doing these clouds because I want them to tie into her hair. So I'm using the same color that I've been using in her hair into the clouds. So that way it feels like they could almost be one thing. Alright, well I've been kind of a bad narrator for this video and not really telling you too much, but I think hopefully it's self-explanatory. So I'm just working on the clouds. And you'll see that I'm also using the same color for the planet, so the places where the clouds aren't in the planet, like the ocean color, whatever you want to call it, the atmosphere color. So I'm using this color in a lot of different places to create harmony. Yeah, I just love this color, so using it a lot on this page. Alright, back to the hair. I know I jump around so much. It's going to be a recurring theme. Back to the planet. What can I say? I'm kind of scattered. But there's a method to my madness, I promise. It all comes together in the end. Don't ask me what the method is. I couldn't actually put a name to it, but... But yeah, there's no right or wrong way, though. So if you need to, finish one spot all at once, that's totally okay, too. You do whatever makes you happy. I think that's the most amazing thing about art, is we all have our own way. appreciate you watching. If you did like this video, then please hit that like button. That helps me out so much. And if you stuck through this video for this long, then you probably want to hit that subscribe button too. I'll be creating more videos like this, so don't forget to subscribe. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful, magical time coloring. Bye. Here's Abby, my little snuggle bug.